All right, welcome back to video number 2 of the Selling Program by Jerry Durham here on the SME platform, Superior Medical Equipment, or otherwise known as the Subject Matter Experts. Again, I'm going to say this at the beginning of everyone. The beauty of this and the reason I call it a series is because these videos build on each other. So if you have not watched the intro, if you have not watched video number 1, go back and watch both of those, and the value of this will become greater and greater. Each video builds on the last one. Again, just like your business is an ecosystem, this series is its own ecosystem and it builds, builds, builds. So, selling, it's about patient success. So, let's go back to principle number 1, right? The goal is what's best for the patient is best for the business, right? And if we are focused on this, then we are focused on what? Patient success. Patient success is the goal because then and only then, if your focus is creating patient success, right? Then and only then can you have business success. Business success is the result of patient success. Then and only then can you have personal success. By the way, when I say personal success, you could be the owner, you can be a staff PT, you can be a front desk member, you can be the member of the billing team. I'm telling you, your success within the business flows from patient success, which leads to business success, which leads to your personal success. And what have we said all along? All of this is absolutely a team goal. It is a team effort. A team approach gives us patient success, which leads to business success, which leads to personal success, right? Now, here's my challenge to you, right, today is where does patient success really begin, right? Where does it begin? Because if I was to ask you all this individually, so we want to create patient success. So we say, great, right? Then we got to just focus on patient success. But what is patient success? And if I ask you this question, right, all individually, you'd probably tell me pretty much it starts in the provider room. And what I'm going to tell you is you're going to be really surprised as we dig deeper and deeper to see the impact of the team effort on patient success. So I'm going to show you that patient success actually starts way sooner than you probably thought. And the traditional approach, just get them scheduled. Remember? So the traditional approach of patient success starts with the provider, led to just get them scheduled. Go back and watch video 1. We know the dangers of the just get them scheduled mindset. That traditional thinking or approach won't work and doesn't work. If we wait until the patient gets in front of the provider, we are setting everyone in this equation up for the loss. The provider, the patient, the business, the team. Everybody is set up for failure in that because what are we doing? We're flipping a coin. Sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't. But if we understand where patients are, the definition of patient success, right? If we understand that definition, then we can start to approach it differently to set everyone on the team up for success, including the patients and the providers, okay? And remember, when we talk about success, this is time, money, and energy, right? We don't want to waste anybody's time. You never get that back. You can get money and energy back, but you can't get time back. We don't want to waste the patient's time, money, and energy. We don't want to waste the business's time, money, and energy. So, step number 1, let's define patient success. Now, before I click over to the definition, right, I want you to start thinking about this because patient success, if we think about the patient on a journey within your business, then we start to go, they're on a journey. So success isn't just the destination, it's about every step in that journey, correct? And every step of that journey has to be understood because if you fail at any of those one steps, then they will come off of that journey. They'll no show, they'll drop off, they'll self discharge, they'll cancel, they'll quit on you, right? So if we understand that the patient's on a journey and every step feeds into patient success, then we can start to give a better definition, a more thorough definition, a more well-rounded definition of patient success other than the patient just gets better or the patient gets the information they want, okay? So we've got to look at this patient success from the context of your patient is on a journey within your business. This, right? When they're looking at the marketing, when they're calling you, They're on their own journey, and now they have engaged with you to start a journey with you to come alongside them on their journey. Okay. So let's start from that and silence our phones, but who cares, right? Your phone could ring. So if we understand patient success is defined around a journey and not just one step, patient success means we've got to check all 10 boxes off on this list to get true patient success, right? And if you think patient success is just about patients getting better, go back and read online reviews, read Google reviews, read Yelp reviews. Go back and find my old Yelp reviews, all my negative. So my journey started in this world with a billing problem, with a billing statement that was coming 2 months after discharge. And I found this out because I went online and saw all my negative Yelp reviews. And all these negative reviews, pretty much all of them started with my physical therapist was great, but, and then this whole long manifesto about how we committed fraud, about how we did bait and switch, how we tried to rip them off, right? So if you think that someone liking their PT and getting better is enough to create patient success, right? Remember, patient success, remember the flow of a business? They have to refer, right? The final stages they refer to you. So if you've done all the work to get someone in the door and they get better, and then you screw up the billing side, you tell me what patient success looks like. Not only have they left your business, but they're going to make sure other people don't do business with you. That cannot be the definition of patient success, right? So I know you've already all read through this list as I was talking about this. So what I want you to think about when you look at this list is really this is the order that someone is moving through your business, right? They arrive for the evaluation, payment at every visit, right? Never no show, right? This is someone moving through their journey in your business. And when I created this, I wasn't so much about thinking of the journey, but I was thinking about what are all these steps or things that could happen with someone in my business that if they happen negatively, it would impact either my business or their journey in my business, cancel, no show, drop off. These are all the things. And then I took a step back and went, wait a minute, this is them taking steps. So I was thinking about someone moving through the journey in my business without realizing when I first put this together. So we are going to use this as the definition for patient success. And you can see in there completes a plan of care. Now, I'm going to say a plan of care could be you sending them back to the doctor, right? So we don't want to say patient getting better because if someone needs a further write-up, or sorry, workup, that came to you for a shoulder pain, and you realize that this was not about physical therapy and you send them back to their doctor, that's a successful journey, right? As long as we can check all the other boxes. They completed a successful course with you. Did they get better? I got them to the right place, right? And check all these boxes. So I don't want to call patient success someone getting better. It just leads us down all these ways where we forget about these other things. So you can see there's 10 boxes here that need to be checked by every person who moves through your business that we want to, right, create patient success for. And then the more boxes we can check, the more likely we will have patient success, which leads to business success, which leads to personal success. Correct? Cool. So if we look at that and we look at all those steps and all that journey, again, the front desk play here, let's roll it back, right? So basically, I put this up that patient success and business success is a team effort. Because if we look at these steps, front desk plays a role, billing team plays a role, providers play a role, PT assistants play a role, PT aides play a role. Everybody in your business plays a role and plays a role in checking all one of these boxes. So it truly is a team effort, right? For someone to have success in your business, right? And the better your team understands that, and the better your team understands this whole journey, right? Then the better they will understand how execution, and I'd say they're more incentivized, that execution at my step for this person in their journey is feeding into this bigger picture, right? And ultimately, this goal we're looking to do, right? What are we looking? How are we going to measure team success? Well, geez, Jerry, just because billing gets someone the correct information, that doesn't, right? That's just one step. Well, we need to get the team aligned behind one common goal. And what we're going to make that common goal is completed plans of care, right? So that journey someone is moving through in your business is a journey to a completed course of care. And as I mentioned, that could be one visit, that could be 50 visits, right? That's up to the provider, and the provider plays a role in that, right? Building out that plan of care. But the front desk plays a role on making sure that person who shows up, knowing they're going to be presented with a plan of care, knowing that our goal here is to come alongside you on your journey. Billing helps to make sure they know their costs to do work with us, to ask us to say, yes, I want you to come alongside me on my journey. They know the cost. So everybody's playing a role to keep people on their plan of care, to help manage the cancels, to make sure drop-offs remain low, uh, or non-existent, and to make sure no-shows are non-existent. So this goal that we're going to work towards to create patient success is a completed plan of care, right? Patient success plus business success is a team effort. So if we understand this journey that everybody's on and we map it out, we see that the final destination is a completed course of care. Now, mind you, you can have after course of care programs. Don't get me wrong. But I'm telling you, the way we're going to bring this person into the world and manage them is to make sure that we're focused on a completed course of care. And one of the objectives at a completed course of care in your business, maybe, right, maybe to put people into a post course of care program. So just bear with me on this terminology, but we need the whole team aligned behind this common goal, and that's going to be completed plans of care. Cool. Jerry, you keep saying this word, right? Hold on, sorry. You keep saying this word completed plan of care and patient journey, right? But what does this require? The team, right? It requires this arrive, pay, and stay, right? Completing a plan of care and then do your marketing for you mindset. This is that long-term thinking, right? this is this is not visit thinking. This is not scheduled thinking, right? This thinking is long term, a completed course of care. This journey that they're going to be on with us. We're not thinking about tomorrow. We're thinking about tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day and that final destination. And we all know that there will be steps in this journey, but the long term thinking is to this desired outcome or this completed course of care, right? And so, what this requires of the team is this mindset, right? Around arrive, pay, and stay. That's where we want them coming from, not scheduled, not visits, nothing else, not managing. By the way, we don't manage cancels, drop offs, and no shows. We prevent cancels, drop offs, and no shows. Those are two different mindsets. And if we're on this visit mindset, if we're on this get this people scheduled mindset, it's hard to get people to back up and go, wait, right? I want you to think longer term, but make sure you manage cancels. That's managing in the moment. That's trying to put the fires out. If we do our work properly and we're thinking long term, we prevent cancels, we prevent drop offs, we prevent no shows. What do? We increase arrivals. Arrivals is long term thinking, visits and scheduled is short term thinking. So every time, if you're going to have a talk with someone about getting them on the schedule, you're thinking long term. What's going to work for you long term, Jerry? I know you said your kid's in school, right? I know you said you pick up your kid, you drop your kids off every day, right? I want you, your front desk team, problem solving with this person when it's time to schedule out their plan of care. I want your team to go, well, Jerry, I think you mentioned you had kids. Do you drop them off at school, right? By the way, remember the attributes of a great salesperson in video number one? Go back and look at this. Look at that, right? Your front desk is already trying to prevent some of the problems that may happen downstream. Cancels due to having to pick their kids up at school, being late because they had to drop them off and there was a longer line or a teacher had to talk to them, right? These are all parts that your front desk team is going to be thinking about as they're going to schedule out a plan of care that is focused on arrivals and a completed plan of care. Now, Jerry, We know, so look, we defined, right, the goal to get the team aligned by it, but what's the visual? How are we going to do this? You keep saying this journey, this plan of care. So here's this patient journey. I call it the patient life cycle. May not be exactly yours, but I use this as the template because it's going to be pretty damn close. All right. And this patient, right, we can say patient, customer, client at this point. And this is the patient and the journey they're on in your business, right? And it's every single touch point and interaction, your potential. Because if, as you look in the red, they don't become a happy paying or they don't become an arrived customer until right here, where the red and the orange meet. So all this red, they're a potential new patient. And that patient life cycle is the steps, every single touch point and interaction your potential and patients have with your practice, right? Now, when someone is moving through this patient life cycle, they are also having an experience with your practice, right? And this experience is the story that your potential patients create in their own mind when they're moving through the life cycle in your practice. These stories and experiences are emotional, and it's the emotions that they remember and will tell others about. So when we're creating systems to move someone through this journey in our business, we want to create systems and processes to move someone through step by step that creates positive emotions, right? And go back and remember I talked about reading patient reviews. Go back. Oh, my friend, your front desk team made me feel so welcome. Boom, experience. Boy, your front desk team listened to me. I'd say that's emotional too, right? Right. And that's when you read those reviews and you're like, damn, I don't even know if they got better. And I'm like, that's cool because they're sharing their story. And people are going to align with your business in your practice because they align with the stories and the experiences that other people are sharing with your business. So I want to say that the life cycle is the actual physical part, the systems and processes you create to move someone through this journey towards their desired outcome, right? A complete course of care, right? Is going to be their experience in your business. We can build out systems and processes to deliver on the experience that you want to create. And again, we have to remember that the front desk is the biggest impact on this because they start people's journey. They manage and set expectations. They start to build that trust. So by the time your brand new patient arrives, they arrive knowing what to expect. They arrive knowing that they're in the right place. They arrive knowing that they're seeing the expert who's going to give them that diagnosis, who's going to give them that plan. They know their costs. They know it's going to be $50. They know it's going to be $150 when they arrive. There's no surprises. So all you have to do is set expectations and meet them in this journey, but you've got to build the systems and processes out to execute on this 100% of the time because we want to create this experience. And the way we create this experience is systems and processes that can be executed on 100% of the time. Right. And I really want you to think about the experience. You notice I haven't said customer service. Customer service is reactive. This is not customer service training. This is a focus on your sales process and creating a great experience. Customer service is a result. Patient experience is proactive. So think about this. Customer service is even one better. Customer service is reactive. Focusing on the experience is proactive because you're always going, what can we do at this step? What can we do at this step to create problems at the next step? Customer service sits around, not in a bad way, but just as examples, customer service sits around and waits for a call. Hey, I'm not happy. That's that person going, I need to cancel. That's customer service training. Oh, sorry, Jerry, right? Preventing that phone call is focusing on the experience you want to create. So that's the difference between this term experience and service. Customer experience, customer service. They are two completely different things. And that's why you have not heard me say that word up until this point to differentiate because I don't want you to confuse customer service with customer experience. I don't train. None of this is about customer service. All this is about creating an experience that you can deliver on, and there is no need for customer service. Okay. Cool. I just really want to differentiate that. So we've got this patient life cycle. It's every single interaction. We know there's a team approach. We got to build out the systems and processes that all the team members, right? The front desk team, your providers, your aide, your assistant, your billing team, your marketing team can all deliver, right? We got to set up the systems and processes that all team members can deliver to create this experience, right? And then the single most important thing to do throughout this entire life cycle, and it needs to be built into the systems and processes, is to make sure that you're managing and setting expectations. And this is simple as someone calls in to schedule an eval, and you get them scheduled, and you say, "So, Jerry, let me tell you what's going to happen." You're setting an expectation. Let me tell you what's going to happen on your first visit. It's 1 hour long. These are the three things that are going to happen. This is the deliverable. And by the way, setting an expectation and your cost will be, right? When we manage and set expectations and then deliver on them, we build trust. When we align a patient's expectations with what we can deliver, we build trust. This whole time we are decreasing fear, doubt, and uncertainty. And I brought this up on the last video. The three reasons people cancel, no show, and drop off are fear, doubt, and uncertainty. And so this whole system, as you're building out, right? What do I need to share on this first phone call so there is no uncertainty left when they hang up? They hang up and they say, I called the right place and I know everything I need to know to arrive on Thursday at 10:30, right? And I'm going to tell you right now, all the secret callers I do, man, there is so much uncertainty created on the call when people think they are helping. We can talk about this in a later video in this series, but it is insane. So your focus is to manage and set expectations that will build trust. And this big picture means you will be decreasing fear, doubt, and uncertainty, which does what? Increases the likelihood of an arrival, decreases the likelihood of a cancel, of a no-show, of a drop-off. These are all the things that must happen. Because if you're doing all this, right, success of your business depends on this patient's experience that you create. There's this great line that says, people are having an experience in your business, even if you know it or not. Meaning, if you haven't created an experience, they're having the experience that they're having. And usually those are the reviews about bad steps here and there. And people get frustrated and try to attack it at that point. And I'm like, no, you got to take a step back. What was going on the step before? What was going on the step before? And it is this experience on the journey of creating patient success that's going to create your business success. So again, thank you all for attending video two. We can call it two. There was the intro video, video one. This is video two. Thank you for attending video two. And again, I want you guys to write down your questions, your thoughts, concerns. You got questions maybe about how one is attached to two. How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? Because we're going to do live Q&As, and I want you and your team to get your questions answered so you know how to implement and create greater patient success in your own business. So I say it's break time because video three will be next. But again, I thank you all for giving me your time and your energy, and make sure you're collecting the information you need to get the feedback you need to create greater patient success in your business when we do our live Q&As. Cheers all.